good. Okay, we'll call the June 17th, 2021 Elizabethton City School Board meeting to order. At this time, if everyone would please stand, and I'll have Mr. Van Huss lead us in a moment of silence and the pledge to the flag.
Please pause for a moment of silence. Thank you. Attention, salute, pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, it's time to approve the consent and regular agenda. If I can get a motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve.
A motion and a second.
Second.
Second. Any discussion on any of those items? Okay. All those in favor of approving the consent and regular agenda, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And there are none. At this time, it's time for citizens to speak. I don't think we had anyone sign up, but we also have another line item for citizens to speak regarding ESSER planning and the American Rescue Plan funding, and didn't know if anyone was here for that purpose. And there will be some discussion about that later on in the board meeting. Okay. If not this time, we'll move on to special recognition, and I'll turn that over to Mr. Van Huss.
Thank you, Mr. Pless. We would like to take an opportunity to recognize our cafeteria staff. Obviously, this past year has been a challenge on many, many fronts, but when Ms. Isaacs had her meeting earlier this year, at the beginning of the school year, talking to the staff about the next year, I came in and told them we're going to do a lot of things this year that are going to be important to kids, but the most important thing we're going to do is we're going to feed them. And so the job that they do, I mean, there's no substitute for that. They've gone above and beyond the call of duty to feed not only students that were on campus, but students that were not on campus. We ran buses to deliver meals. They've worked out front of schools to let people come by and pick up meals. They've packed up meals to get students through the weekend. So just amazing work that they've done. And there's a group called No Kid Hungry Tennessee that's reached out to all cafeteria staffs across the state to recognize them. So we felt like it was fitting to bring the cafeteria staff here tonight to recognize them and just formally thank them for all they've done this year. I mean, again, just without them, I don't know what we would have done. Again, feeding kids was the number one thing that we needed to do, and they did a fantastic job of that. So this particular information, again, from No Kid Hungry, says, in recognition and sincere appreciation for your commitment to hunger relief and your superhero determination to get kids the nutritious meals they need. Thank you for all you do for kids and their families. So if we could, I would like we have several members of the cafeteria staffs here from the various schools. If all of them would come up, and Mrs. Isaacs, if you will come up, we have a plaque to present, and we'll take a picture. All right, come on.
Come on.
Somebody want to step up on the back row here?
Come on, Sheila, get in there.
Right in the middle, Regina, right in the middle. Get in there.
All right.
But you girls need to get over on the end. Nobody wants to be on the end.
Next on the agenda, we would like to recognize Mr. Dustin Hensley. He's the Library Media Specialist at Elizabethton High School. And I'm going to let Ms. Veronica Watson talk a little bit about this, but just briefly, Veronica nominated Mr. Hensley for the Library Journal's Mover and Shakers Educators for 2021. And Mr. Hensley was selected, and he made one of their publications as being a mover and shaker in education across the country, specifically about his focus on student voice. And again, Veronica sitting here right now is one example of that, a big example of that, and that was a vision of Mr. Hensley and some of the others there at the high school to have a student liaison with the board, and it's been a tremendous asset. So, Veronica, would you like to share some more with that?
Absolutely. So, if anybody's really had any kind of conversation with me about school at any point in my life, I'm always quick to compliment Mr. Hensley and give him credit for all the opportunities that I've been presented. I really wouldn't, obviously I wouldn't be sitting here on this board without him. He was one of the main pioneers in getting this position available. I probably wouldn't have been elected. I probably wouldn't have even tried had I not had someone like Hensley in the library to not only provide a safe space for students when high school can get really crazy, but also just really build connections with and get to know me. It was completely invaluable, all the opportunities he's provided me, and having the ability to go and escape if I needed to. Just, it wasn't like any other kind of library that anybody has ever been in before. Kids want to go there. They enjoy spending time there. It's not run by old ladies shushing you. It's rarely quiet in its heyday. But I wouldn't have it any other way because it's so unique to our school, and we're so lucky to have someone as amazing and caring as Mr. Hensley. I'm not the only one he's touched. My boyfriend Caleb Metros owes a lot to him too, and I'm sure the same goes for countless other students at our school. But when Christina Sturgeon came to me with this idea to nominate him for this, I was more than excited to do it. I put in a lot of work with her, and she helped me get my emotions and my thoughts and how amazing Hensley is into a really good spoken nomination. And it was down to the last minute, and so we were really worried that it wasn't going to work out, and we hadn't heard anything. So when finally I noticed that he had posted that he won it, I was very happy because there's no one more deserving in this entire world than you for this position. So thank you from me very personally, and on behalf of all of the other students whose lives you've touched, congratulations and thank you.
Thank you. So, Mr. Hensley, if you'll come up. Veronica, do you mind to walk around? We have a plaque there for him, and maybe we'll take a picture. You can hand that to Mr. Hensley. And I have to say, Mr. Hensley is a faithful attendee of board meetings, and so we appreciate that as well.
It's a perfect attendance award.
He does, doesn't he? Oh. Well, how fitting that, again, this is Veronica's last meeting with us as the school board liaison, student liaison, and just from the board and from myself, just appreciate all of your work. You've done so many great things. You've had so many great ideas. The first one that comes to mind is your idea about having a student voice on textbook selection committees. And so that's something that we're going to incorporate at the high school. And you've just done such a great job. You've represented the students well. You've represented our system well. We're so proud of you being a Roan Scholar, and just can't wait to see all the awesome things that you're going to do. And I thought it was only fitting that maybe we give Mr. Hensley a chance to say a couple of words about you as well, and then we have a couple of things to give you. So we'll see if he returns the favor.
That's not really fair. I will not cry. Not a crybrarian. So I've got a lot of those puns. I won't share them all. But I'm so proud of Veronica. I'll never forget the first time I met Veronica. It was a freshman orientation, and she came into the library with her parents. I had just gotten back from MIT training with XQ, and she was wearing an MIT sweatshirt, and she was so excited about technology. And I remember just telling her, like, this is our goal. Like, if that's what you want to do, then that's what we're going to get you. Like, that's where we're going to get you to. And then she cried. And then for the next 4 years, she lived in the library. And I was so thankful for that. And she's the 5th student that sat in that seat. And she's done such an amazing job that sometimes we say that we give students a voice, but I think I don't like that saying, because they already have a voice. It's not that we have the authority to give it to them or whatever. They have that. We're just allowing them to amplify that voice. And she's done such a great job of wanting to hear other students and amplify those voices. And whether it be the textbook committee or having the town hall for the election of the new school board members, allowing students to ask questions of the school board members, she's had so many great ideas and has come to me with so many ideas, and it's been such a blessing to get to be a sounding board for that. Not that I would ever want to influence, and I would never give her an answer on a lot of questions, because I say, I'm not the liaison, you are. It matters what you think. So it's been such a blessing to watch her grow over the last 4 years, and I couldn't be more proud of the person that she's become. Remembering 14-year-old Veronica wearing cat ears to who she is now. Today as 18-year-old going to ETSU as a Roan Scholar. Could not be more proud of the person that she is. And I can't wait to see what she does next. I know it's going to be amazing, and I hope that I can trick her into being in education in some form or fashion. That's been the long-term goal of mine, is I got to keep her in education somehow, maybe future board member, I don't know.
There you go.
However, she needs to be involved in education because she cares so much about learning. And not just her learning, but the learning of others around her, and that means a lot to see someone care so much about everyone else's growth. So thank you, Veronica.
Thank you.
Mr. Hensley, if you'll come up, and Veronica, if you'll slide back around again. So we have a plaque for Veronica as well, and a little gift here as well. Gifts. We come bearing gifts. Give Veronica a round of applause. So we want to take a moment also to mention Maggie Cole. She's here. She's going to be taking Veronica's spot. You have big shoes to fill, but
I have small shoes, actually.
but we're again excited and appreciate, Veronica, your commitment to the school system and your commitment to board meetings. I don't know that I remember you missing one, and so we appreciate your dedication to that, and we look forward to working with Ms. Cole starting next month.
She'll be very amazing, I have no doubt.
Thank you.
Thank you. And at this time, we try to be gracious to those who may not want to stay for the regular agenda portion of the board meeting. So if you need to go, feel free to go. We're not offended. We completely understand. But you can, if you need to go, that's fine. This will be the time to do that. No, you must stay.
It's not allowed for board members.
That's what Will says.
Okay. Next, it's time for the director's updates, and I'll go ahead and turn it back over to Mr. Van Huss.
Thank you. So we've talked a lot about it. Every month we talked about can we make it? We've made it 1 month. Can we make it another one? Well, we finally made it. Conclusion to a spectacular school year, all things considered, and we're in summer school now. We're finishing up today. We finished up week 3, so we have 1 more week of summer school, but that's gone extremely well. Again, the staff that we have working there, we have cafeteria staff working, feeding students, teacher assistants, teachers, administrators. So that's gone extremely well. But again, just to think about where we came from last July, we were preparing for a school year and we didn't know what it would look like. And just the way that our staff handled that and our students to come through and be where we are today is nothing short of a miracle. So just want to say how much I appreciate everyone and their input, including the board. Couldn't have done it without your support as well. So thank you very much. So we're looking forward to a normal year, whatever that is. So we're already planning for that, and so we're excited about the 21-22 school year. In just a minute, we're going to be talking about our ESSER application for our ESSER 3.0 funding, and so I've provided a packet for you there, and we'll discuss more about that as well. We would like to encourage anyone in the community, everyone in the community, to, if you have a few minutes, to go to the school system website. It's www.ecschools.net, and get on there and click on the 3.0 ESSER 3.0 survey. We have a brief synopsis of some of the things that we're proposing to do with that funding, and so we want input from community stakeholders. So I would just encourage anyone to get on there and complete that. It won't take you very long, or you can take as long as you want. There's open response opportunities where you can give us feedback on what we have proposed, as well as things that ideas that you may have for that funding as well. So we welcome and look forward to seeing the results of that survey. That will be open until July 5th. It will.
Students fill it out too?
Absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely. So there's your last task. See how many
Yes.
students you can get
Seriously.
to get on there and fill that out. Absolutely. So, also wanted to mention that we have Mr. Eddie Sexton here with us today with 5 points, and you'll be considering a couple of items there, and so just wanted to welcome him to the meeting as well. Hiring process continues late, about the middle of May, all the way through June. It's been a whirlwind. It seems like there's been different positions to interview for almost daily. Administrators have done a fantastic job. I'm really excited about the people that we have coming on in those roles. It's just extremely competitive. And again, we've had outstanding candidates. Therefore, we've been able to select some just wonderful people to work in our school system, work with our children. So excited about that. We have a few positions to go. A couple of those you'll be considering tonight as well. Also, didn't want to fail to mention Miss Regina Wilder. She's been our coordinated school health coordinator for many years, and she'll be retiring, and she's here tonight. So just wanted to recognize her and thank her for her years of dedicated service. We had a little surprise for her today. That's a good story. If you have a few minutes, I can fill you in on that. But it was a great time, and again, we just really appreciate just the fact that we had someone with her knowledge and her expertise with us for all these many years. So there's more big shoes to fill. So Ms. Wilder, thank you very much. So that's all I have.
Okay. It's time for board reports. I don't know, does anyone have anything, been to any conferences? I know that some are going to the Law Institute in July, so maybe in the August meeting there may be some. I will be going over the Director Evaluation tool there toward the end, and also there's an administrator section, so I'll talk about that at that point. Anybody have anything? Okay. Time for the City Council Liaison Report. Mr. Mike Simmerly.
Good evening, everyone. Sorry I missed last month. I had a little visit down out of town with the City Council for our budget workshop, and I got a black eye and I gave a black eye. But, we did get our funding approved. We had our first vote, I guess it was last Thursday, and we have our second vote here at the end of the month for our budget meeting and our budget funding for 2022. A couple of things I had, not a lot tonight. But one thing, Ms. Veronica, they mentioned about school board, but understand you live in a city and we have a city council. A young lady like you, we would love to have someone like you to run for city council to help our city grow. And also, you still get to work with school board now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
no, but we love it and
Gotta
appreciate
be
it.
within city limits.
There you go. There you go. But again, we appreciate everything on behalf of the city that you've done, and you and I have been involved in a lot of different things. I know working with Sycamore Shoals State Park. I serve on a board down there, and you've been involved in, and Dustin's been very involved with that. So it's not just things every day that you see here that she works with you guys on. She's been very involved in our community, very involved. And again, just so appreciative of that, and going to miss you. And I'm sure, again, looking forward to the young lady here that's going to be replacing you. Another thing, I want to step up and say, Mr. Hensley, as everyone knows, is very involved in our community. I am so proud of everything that, on behalf of City Council that I represent and different boards that I serve on, and how involved the school system has been involved with the city and the community. It's a joint effort. We are one people. We're neighbors. We're friends. We go to church together. We serve and we work together. But Dustin stepped up and is really, just a lot of different projects I've worked on in different groups I've been working with. And Dustin, again, I just want to tell you how much I really appreciate that. Whether it's a computer program we're working on with, Keep Carter County Beautiful, he helped us on that. Sycamore Shoals State Park helped us on the computer system down there, and Veronica's been working on that. And he's stepping up and taking some big shoes to work with the board members and going to serve on the board down at Friends of Sycamore Shoals State Park. So again, I'm just so excited that the school system is so involved in our community. I mean, you educate our children, you serve our school system, but again, it's just that involvement. Every one of you are so involved, and it's just so much appreciated. Last thing I have, and this is kind of something fun. I got a call earlier today. Richard, I hope you don't mind me throwing this out, but Richard called earlier today. We speak quite frequently, but he called me today and he said, Mike, we had a little problem. We went down to Sycamore Shoals State Park recently to take some pictures for the high school annual. I said, okay. He said, well, we were told we couldn't take pictures down at the park. We had to have permission from the state. Could you check on that? I said, sure. So I made a few phone calls, and I guess with COVID and everything that's been going on, a lot of people working from home have, looked at different jobs and ways they can make money, maybe being a photographer. So there's been a lot of photographers going throughout the state of Tennessee, I guess all states, taking pictures in the state parks. They had a Grinch running through the state park recently down at Sycamore Shoals when they had they were educating some children down there, and they were actually filming and taking pictures of the Grinch as he's running through the park without permission, of course. They had someone recently drove a pickup truck out in the middle of the park on the grass park and had about 100 people standing in line to take Christmas pictures, and so it went on and on and on. But anyhow, yes, you have permission to go down to the state park and take your pictures as needed. There will be in 2022, I understand the state is working on a permitting process. So once I find that out and once that goes in place, you'll have to go online and file a permit to go down to take pictures. But other than that, go down and take pictures. Just let Jennifer know, and I'll get you the phone number for Jennifer Bauer. She's the park superintendent or park manager. But again, it's just something fun I wanted to throw out there on the table about the pictures and the
Thank
program.
you very much for checking on that.
We don't know. We don't know. But again, it was just something that's going on. But again, I'm just so proud to work with you guys. It's been a great year, and of course, I've only been involved with you for a few years, but I think I saw John Hutchins at lunch one day, and I said, "You guys still meeting during the summer?" And he's like, "Of course we meet during the summer." I guess we don't get out of school either, huh? Thank you again for your time. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to T.A. Duggar finally getting that funding done, getting that building completed. It's so exciting. Thank you.
Good deal. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Okay. And last but not least, student liaison report. Veronica?
All right. So I wrote a speech because I'm better when I write things down. I repeat myself less. So I just wanted to say thank you guys for allowing me to be up here in this truly unique position. I'm thanking both the board members for allowing this position to even exist, and for the students at home who I'm sure are watching at the very edge of their seats right now for electing me into this position. You all saw my passion for the school and for advocating for you guys and choosing me out of anyone else to be your spearhead. was something that I'll be forever grateful for. I didn't think I would make it here because it's really no secret that sometimes student-run elections are a bit more of a popularity contest. But my being here today proves that students can be different and that they do care about electing people with the goal of making real tangible changes as opposed to doing something for a resume. I know this year has had endless obstacles and struggles that are only now being overcome, and as a result, I was unable to make the most out of the position like I would have wanted to. But I hope and I know that going forward, the students who sit in this seat will not only take the position seriously, but will put the work in to utilize it to its fullest potential and make changes that make a difference in the lives of the students. The relationships built here on the board are lifelong and oh, so important. Students really need to realize this and step up these connections in conjunction with the passionate voices of the students to make improvements for everyone, especially those needing it most, who are all too often left out and underrepresented due to various social or economic reasons. I'd hope that this position in the future can bring about the most meaningful change beyond the appearance of our school and more to the heart of it, the people in the building. They all deserve a voice and are dying to be heard, and there's no better way to do it than through this position. I wish you the best of luck next year, Maggie. I'm so excited to see what you will do, and we'll be following along closely. And again, thank you to everyone for sharing this year with me. Thanks to the board members who are no longer sitting up here, and to the new members I've had the opportunity to help elect. I've been so honored to sit on this board through 2 superintendents, 8 different board members. Not many other people will have the opportunity to say that, let alone be a part of the process for selecting the new superintendent and hosting a town hall for the new board members. I'm truly honored to feel so included. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'll truly miss working with each and every one of you, and hopefully we'll be back eventually.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Veronica. And we're glad that we get to have a meeting with you without a mask.
Yeah.
I just think that's,
Seriously.
so we finally get to do that. So we do wish you well, and we all look forward to hearing what you do and what you become. It is exciting. Okay. Now it's time to move on to the regular agenda. First item on the agenda is to approve revised board policy 6.205, student assignments. Can I get a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve.
Get a motion, I have a second?
Second.
Second, all right. Any discussion?
Just real quickly, last month, you took action to allow students, children of city employees to come to the school system tuition-free. And so we modified board policy 6.204, where there's also a reference to that priority order in 6.205. And so we missed that one last month, and so that's why that's back on here again. So it's, again, different policy, but addresses the same situation.
Okay. Questions or comments? Okay, items to approve revised board policy 6.205, student assignments. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. And all those opposed? All right, next item. Approve creation of a full-time bus driver / custodian / maintenance position to begin in the 2021-2022 school year. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Okay, and a second?
Second.
Second, all right.
I'm sweating there a little bit. No, so a little bit about this position. I'm sure you can imagine how difficult it is to find a substitute bus driver or a substitute custodian or a substitute maintenance employee. So, and we don't have the funds to be able to hire someone full-time to be a substitute for all those positions. However, we feel like if we're able to put all 3 of those things together for a position, we may be able to find someone that may fit that bill. And so that's the intention here, is to have this this position so that if we have a bus driver out, this will be the first. This person will know all the routes, and they'll be the first to sub. Same thing with a custodian. You know, when you have, if you count this campus as well, 6 different buildings that we're trying to maintain. that can be an issue if there's a custodian that's out and maybe out for a week or two. It really puts a strain on the rest of the staff to be able to manage that. And the same thing with maintenance. We have a wonderful maintenance staff. They do a great job. But if one of those, if one of our maintenance workers is down for any length of time, it really puts a strain on us. So that would be what this position would do. Obviously, the person will have their CDLs, and they'll have some background and knowledge in the custodial and maintenance areas as well. So for the school system, it would be great to have someone that we know we can plug in those holes when we have those. So would appreciate your consideration creating this position.
Not want to add cook to that too, or
Well, you know what?
something? I mean, you left some stuff off. You know,
we can
No, I'm
certainly
just-
check on that.
No, that's a lot to ask. That's
Yes,
a,
it
That's a
is.
talented person.
It is.
So, again, anything else? Items to approve the creation of a full-time bus driver / custodian / maintenance position to begin in the 2021-2022 school year. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Next item, ratify creation of a career advisory position for Elizabethton High School to be funded from general purpose and XQ funds. Can I get a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Motion and a second.
Second.
Second, all right.
Okay, a part of our ESSER 3.0 is, part of that was the creation, that allowed us to create a position for a career advisor. Similar to a guidance counselor, but this position will really get in and dig in with the details that a student needs to know to be able to reach whatever goal once they leave high school. So this position will be working with students on, if I say, okay, I'm interested in being a pilot. Okay, well, what path do I need to take? What do I need to complete? What are the options that I have right now while I'm at Elizabethton High School? What are my options in higher ed in the area? What things do I need to go ahead and get signed up for now to put me further up in the line for selection? So we already have one of these positions, again, using ESSER 3.0 funds. So this would be a second one. And what we're going to do is restructure the counseling office a bit. We have a position that's basically an administrative professional. And so we're basically taking that position along with and supplementing some XQ funds to create this other position. So we'll continue to have two school counselors, and then we'll have these two career advisors as well. So appreciate your consideration on ratifying this because we've already selected the person. So we'd appreciate it if you would do this. But we're excited about what it's going to provide students. It's going to really get in there again and dig in with them and give them some direction as quickly as possible to get them on the path that they so choose.
Okay. Any comments? I know you this is a big deal to you, I know.
Well, I'll tell you, Eddie and I have watched it work in a neighboring system. We put a lot on guidance counselors. I remember as principal, they don't have time to really see every student and see what they need. But again, we've watched a gentleman that we all know for a neighboring system that gets every student, and I think this is a great position. I think Eddie would say the same.
Yeah. And that's a great point. The counselors will still be doing everything they normally do. They'll still be involved with the same number of students working on 4-year plans and all those things, but this is just another set of hands to help them with some of those details that, quite frankly, two people just can't handle. So we're really excited about what it's going to mean to our kids, and that's what it's all about.
Well, we look forward to working with them there at the TCAT, and we do know that just the push for post-secondary opportunities. Some people are goal-oriented and can find some things on their own, maybe with some help, and good parents and that kind of thing. But they're having the extra help for a lot of people is essential. They can get lost, and I think that'll be huge. So, all right. Item is to ratify creation of a career advisor position for Elizabethton High School to be funded from general purpose and XQ funds. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. And any opposed? And none. Motion carries. Next item, approve creation of 3 elementary and 1 junior high teacher position to support the Tennessee All-Core in-school tutoring program to be paid for using ESSER 3.0 funds. Can I get a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion and a second.
Second.
Second, okay. Mr. Van Huss?
Yes, okay, so part of our requirements for the ESSER 3.0, which again we'll talk in more detail shortly, but we have to spend at least 20% of that funding on learning loss. And one area that we could select to do that with is what's called Tennessee All-Core. And it is a tutoring program that's unlike anything that we've ever seen before. It could be traditional tutoring before and after school, but in sitting through some informational sessions, Dr. Newman and I sat through one, and we both really got excited about the opportunity to do something during the school day. So as many of you know, we have a program called Rti Response to Intervention for those students that are struggling, that need a little more help in reading and math. Well, essentially, this would be a program similar where students would, small groups, no more than 3 per adult, would work with this teacher if we approve these positions, and our focus will be ELA. And what we're going to be able to focus on are basically more students that don't qualify for RTI, but still need that little extra push. And so we feel like it's going to be extremely beneficial for those elementary students to get them on the best footing they can moving forward. We feel like that it's really going to help school scores, teacher scores, all of those things. So it'll be, the way it'll be designed is it's probably going to be pull out 2 days a week, and it'll be during that intervention block that we already have in the schedule. So it'll just be an opportunity to work with a few more students. So there are other incentives. The state's, again, really behind this. They're also going to provide some additional funding for every student that's involved in this each year. So we felt like if we really wanted it to be successful, we needed to try to have an education professional involved. So that would be these 4 teachers. We're also going to be talking with principals. We're probably going to need some instructional assistant positions as well that will, again, all be funded with a combination of 3.0 as well as the funding the state will give us per student. But we want to meet with principals, look at those numbers. The goal is by the school year 22-23, we would be serving at least 25% of the students in grades 1 through 8 with this program. Again, it's during the day. You don't have to worry about transportation after. They're not going to miss anything, if they're, athletics or anything they do after school. And again, it's already time we have carved out in the schedule. So the fact that the opportunity to work with those students, again, I think it's going to have a tremendous impact on student achievement. So really excited about that opportunity as well. Again, probably in July, we may have another item on here again to create those teacher assistant positions or instructional assistant positions to help with this as well, because the key to this is it's low numbers. It's 1 teacher for every 3 students per session. So it's extremely small groups where they really have an opportunity to work on those standards that they need help with. So again, would appreciate your consideration for this, because again, there's so much of an emphasis from the state on this type of program. It just so happens we like the design during the school day. And if we can show the results that I really feel we'll be able to, this may be funding that may be extended beyond ESSER 3.0 dollars. So these positions, again, would be for 3 years pending on funding beyond that. So it would be 3-year funding. Any questions on that?
So essentially, to move kids, what we've been trying to do, it's another way to help that.
Yeah.
And hopefully at some point, the state testing kind of issues that have been going on for several years may be to the point where we can monitor a little bit better and more consistently.
Absolutely.
Okay. Anything else? The item is to approve creation of 3 elementary and 1 junior high teacher position to support the Tennessee All-Core in-school tutoring program to be paid for using ESSER 3.0 funds. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. And any opposed? And the motion carries. Next item, to approve selection of 5 Points Benefit Solutions as the exclusive insurance broker for Elizabethton City Schools. Can I get a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve.
Motion? Second?
Second.
Second? All right.
So I was at a TOSS meeting, a Tennessee Organization of School Superintendents meeting, and I had an opportunity to meet some representatives with 5 Points. We've spoken with them as a district in years past, but just didn't feel like that it was the right time for us. Essentially, what 5 Points does, they are, as it says, they're an insurance broker. It doesn't change anything about our insurance providers. It has nothing to do with health insurance. But what they will provide is, if we ever have a situation where we have to work with our insurance provider, there'll be a voice for us. Okay, so it doesn't affect any cost. It doesn't increase cost for us. So there's nothing like that at all. So we just felt like that it was the right time to do that. As you know, our insurance carrier, US Able, they work very closely with US Able as well. And we're actually one of the few districts in the state now that work with US Able life insurance that is not, that 5 Points is not the insurance broker for. So again, I mentioned that Mr. Eddie Sexton's here as well. If you have questions about that, what that process looks like, what he would be able to do for us, he's more than willing to share that with you. But we're excited again to have that partner. There's all kinds of other services, and we'll get into some of those services in the next item. But there's also legal counsel that they have as well that can help us work through all the requirements for the Affordable Care Act, all that reporting. There are things that they can help us work through and manage on that end as well. So again, it's just another partner to help us with that, with the insurance component of the benefits that we offer employees. And again, it just gets more and more intricate each and every year. So it's going to be great to have, again, another partner to work with on that. Anyone, any questions for me or for Mr. Sexton?
Have we had someone that do this before, or?
No, we're one of the few in the state that do not have an insurance broker. So again, it's just that middle person between us and the insurance company to help provide. Now, they will do things like, if we request that, well, we want to see an additional, what other options we have out here for this, that, or the other. They will help us locate those if we want those. But I just want to go on record to say we're very, very happy with all of the insurance providers we have now. Our dental, vision, and the life insurance is what would be affected by this. And again, so there's no intention to change anything. We're very happy with the coverage that we have from those groups.
Cost to the system?
No cost to the system. No cost to the system. And as easily as you all approve for them to be our broker, we can just as easily end it. So there's no, termination. We can end it as quickly as we sign on.
Okay.
Any questions?
Anything else? All right. And then we'll follow up with the next item. But this item is to approve the selection of 5 Points Benefits Solutions as the exclusive insurance broker for Elizabethton City Schools. All those in favor say aye. Aye. And any opposed? Motion carries. Next item is to approve 5 Points, quote, My Benefits Channel for Elizabethton City Schools. Can I get a motion?
Make a motion.
Make a motion and a second.
Second.
Second, all right. I'll let you follow up on the last item.
Okay, so one of the components that I mentioned before is this item, My Benefits Channel. So it's basically an HR suite that we can use for the hiring process. We currently use Skyward, which functions well, but we feel like this program may give us a little more ability. It's a little bit more user friendly. It gives us some features that we don't have in Skyward, and it also includes there's several things that we're required as educators, training that we're required to receive each and every year. And we currently use a program, and all of our teachers are able to earn, and it's not just teachers, it's all employees. We're able to get online and do some of this training. There's also an online training component for this. And the great part about this is the cost for this using this program is less than half what we just pay for the Safe Schools program that we use now, the online, all those safety trainings that we have to do. So we're going to be able to reduce some costs in some other areas to help get this program, again, which is going to be much better for us. It's going to be much easier for our staff to use. It's going to be much easier for those people that are applying for positions. To be quite honest, it's I don't know if you've been on there and looked, but it's difficult sometimes. We get lots of calls about, where do I go to fill out an application? It's just confusing. So there's actually technical support from 5 Points for the My Benefits channel as well. So if someone's having a question or an issue with that, they actually call them and get tech support instead of from us. So I can tell you every one of the HR department's excited about having this new option. Let's just put it that way. So any other questions on that? Clarification?
So this is totally different than what they're doing with the insurance stuff.
That this
Or is it
is
part of
something
it?
that they provide as a part of that. So there's a suite that they provide that we will purchase. It's $99 a year. And then there's another component with the HR side that we would like to purchase that is the remaining balance of that. But we can sign on as a broker and not use any of this. It is totally separate.
Right,
But because you have now selected them as our broker, we get the bulk of that program for $99.
And that will replace the stuff we're using now, like the.
Yes.
Yeah. I hear it every summer. So.
Yeah, it's a challenge. I mean, and that's not a shot on Skyward. It's a very there's all kinds of functions within it, but sometimes they've left out the end user in there, so it's not the most user friendly. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. Anything else? Item is to approve 5 Points My Benefits channel for Elizabethton City Schools. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And motion carries. Next item, approve a memorandum of understanding between Elizabethton City Schools and Niswonger Foundation for AP Access for All. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion and a second.
Second.
Second, all right. Either one.
So there's actually three big components with this. First of all, it's Niswonger wrote a grant, and they're providing this across the state to increase advanced placement opportunities for students. So there's 2 or 3 components again. The first is teacher training. That usually there's a cost associated with that. So part of this grant from Niswonger will pay for that. So any of our teachers that are interested in AP training, even if they may not teach an AP course, if it's any course that's a prerequisite to an AP course, any of those teachers would be eligible. So again, that's going to be basically anyone. AP training is very rigorous. It really focuses on the rigor in the academic areas. So it's great training. So that's the first component. They'll provide that free of charge to any of our teachers. The second part is the online courses. There's a whole suite of AP online courses that they will offer that there's normally a fee associated with that. Well, that fee is part of this grant as well. So a student can sign up for any of those AP courses and take those online free of charge. It will also pay for the AP exam that they take at the end of the course. So the price is right for this. But again, the opportunities it's going to have, a school hour size, we can't offer everything that a student may want to take. But Dr. Minton is already looking at the schedule to build in some space in the schedule for if a student is interested in taking one of those courses, they'll have a spot in the building where they can go and complete that work during the day. Again, price is right, the content is excellent, and this will give us an opportunity to take a giant step forward in AP offerings at the school.
I think it's a great thing, and I can remember being told I was teaching AP, and I'd had at that point, no training whatsoever
Right.
as being an AP teacher, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I think it's a great thing, and I think it will make a huge difference. I really do.
It will be. It'll be great for our students that really are looking for that little bit extra in that course. Veronica, did you?
So is it like an online class that they do during the school day in the building?
They can do that, or there may be opportunities to do it outside of the school day as well. But again, Dr. Mitten is building some slots in the schedule where students, if they're interested in one of those courses, they can sign up and do it, you know, while they're there in the building. So again, for students that are busy after school with, you know, potentially jobs or athletics, band, those type things, they'll have an opportunity to complete it during the year.
That's very good.
And their course offerings will double between this year and the following year. So there'll even be more opportunities.
Very cool.
So we appreciate Niswonger and their partnership in so many ways, and their support for education in Northeast Tennessee. And they're phenomenal. They do a tremendous amount of work and support, and they support all 17 school districts the same. And we appreciate. They make us all feel special, so we appreciate their support.
Let me ask one question on that.
Yes,
Just
sir.
curious, is it a teacher teaching it live and just being broadcast, or is it?
You know, I don't know the dynamic on all that. That's something we'll have to find out, because obviously if it's something online, they can do it anytime during the day. But if it's live at this particular time, then it would have to be, you know, we'd have to have that space at that particular time.
We did that a long time, when that's when I first
Yeah.
got started. And we had issues with scheduling, our grades didn't match up with those.
Right.
Just some
What was
things
that
that you might want to
called?
look for.
I can't remember what that was called. Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
When we were there?
My bet is that it's somehow recorded. They have the opportunity, because I don't know how they would coordinate that with students that they're offering this all the way across the state. So there'd be no way they could. But I bet they're going to have some office hour opportunities.
Or
Office
chat where you
hours,
could chat.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. All right. Anything else? Okay. Item is to approve a memorandum of understanding between Elizabethton City Schools and Niswonger Foundation for AP Access for All. All those in favor say aye. Aye. And any opposed? None. So the motion carries. Next item is to approve Grow Your Own Grant Memorandum of Understanding between the State of Tennessee and Elizabethton City Schools. Can I get a motion?
Make a motion.
And a second?
Second.
Second? All right.
This is another grant opportunity that we have with the state of Tennessee, and we're partnering with Milligan University. And essentially what this grant will be is there will be 3 positions of people that are in teacher assistant roles within the district, that if they're interested in earning a teaching license and a teaching degree, they can basically, again, do that free of charge. There's a couple of caveats there. In order to, this has to be work that will be completed in 2 years. So there will have to be somewhere around 2 years of college credit that the individual has earned at that point to really be able to get through the program. But we feel like that we're easily going to be able to find 3 of our dedicated staff members that are interested in that for whatever reason they haven't been able to do that. There will be time built out in the school day where they're working in a classroom for sure with students on a consistent basis, where they'll partner with the teacher. They'll do everything you would do in a normal teaching experience, do lesson plans, teach lessons, all those things. But again, that we can manage up to 3 different employees that we have within the school system. So we appreciate Milligan's partnership on that. We appreciate the state providing this opportunity. We'll thank Dr. Newman for working with Milligan to get all the details lined up for this. And once this is approved, Milligan's already working on some information that we can push out, and we should be able to do that probably within the next couple of weeks. And it would also be, let me mention this, someone could have a bachelor's degree in something other than education, be a candidate for this, and actually earn their master's. So it's really wide open for anyone that has some college, at a minimum 2 years of college. So again, we appreciate your consideration for this.
unbelievable opportunity for some people.
1 year shot.
Yeah.
I mean, one time,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Yeah. Yes, well, they've actually had this opportunity. I think this is maybe the second time they've offered it. And so I don't know. I think if they continue to see progress and results from it, I think there may be a possibility for another round in 2 years.
So our employees would just apply by like application? And
Yes, so once we get the information together, then we'll send that out to all of our employees and let them know what the process will be, because my bet is we'll have more than 3. So we'll have to look at, that's the bottom line, we'll have to do there'll be a selection process. So, but
That's
again,
awesome.
yeah.
And that is great. Okay. Item is to approve Grow Your Own Grant Memorandum of Understanding between State of Tennessee and Elizabethton City Schools. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. And any opposed? And there are none. And next item is to approve purchase of Aruba Clearpass Network Access Control System to minimize threats of malicious attacks via connected devices accessing the district's network. Purchase is via TIPS USA Cooperative Purchasing Agreement. Can I get a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve.
Okay, motion and a second?
Second.
And a second, okay.
This is again, the description there tells you a lot about what this is. We've needed some protection, and cyber attacks have never been more front and center in the news around the world. Shut down a pipeline here a few weeks ago. And so this will provide us some better protection against those cyber attacks, as well as, we've really opened up the network this past year to have a guest network where people can log on. So, every time a device logs on to the network, there's the potential that, for people to get in and do some malicious things and shut down our network, which, would be devastating for us. I mean, we rely on it just like everyone else, so heavily. So this is something that we've been putting some money aside in the technology budget for a while to do, and so it's something that we really feel like is extremely timely based on the nature of events around the world. So, questions on that?
Okay, item is to approve purchase of Aruba Clearpass Network Access Control System to minimize threats of malicious attacks via connected devices accessing the district's network. Purchase is via TIPS USA Cooperative Purchasing Agreement. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And motion carries. Next item, approve purchase of comprehensive health education curriculum from Advancing Health Equity in the amount of $5,062.20 using coordinated school health funds. Can I get a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve.
Okay, a motion and a second? Second. All right, thank you.
Thank you. So, for many, many years, we've been using a program a curriculum called the Michigan Model. It's used by school counselors, PE teachers, a host of people dealing with these topics. And so it was time that we purchase a new one. And I don't know if Ms. Wilder, if you want to share anything about this, but she spoke with the coordinated school health director, and this is a state-approved curriculum, and this is the one that they recommended. And we had some extra coordinated school health funds this year and felt like it was a great time to purchase this. So this would be, as you can see there, sets for across the district. So we're excited about having something that's new and updated. Michigan Model has been great. Again, we've used it for many years, but a lot of things have changed since then, and so this will be beneficial for our staff to have some updated materials as well.
Okay. Item is to approve purchase of comprehensive health education curriculum from Advancing Health Equity in the amount of $5,062.20 using coordinated school health funds. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right. Next item is to approve the purchase of the new Daktronics, Sports Sound 150 sound system for the T.A. Duggar Gymnasium from Daktronics, quote 762840-1-0, in the amount of $18,309 to be purchased using T.A. Duggar Athletic Funds, State Contract TCPN R170101. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
All right, and a second. Second, all right.
So, if you've been in T.A. Duggar's gym in a while, there are definitely sound challenges in there. So they've needed a new sound system for quite a while. This is the same sound system we have in the gymnasium at the high school. And so part of that is they'll come in, they come in the space and they design the speakers within. So when you see the speaker itself, it looks like one huge speaker, but it's actually multiple speakers inside. And so they come in and they customize those the directional aspect of those speakers to fill the space. So Mr. Berry asked if that would be, if you would consider that purchase. Again, that's paid for out of athletic funds, so that's from gate receipts and things like that. It's not anything that the school system is, is providing funding wise. It's all money they've generated from within their programs. So, I mean, it'll be a great addition for there again, because it's hard, the way the echo is in there, it's very hard to get any quality sound in there. So
Yeah,
this will be
they
a welcome
desperately need it.
yeah, it's pretty bad. So, and it's great that they've been able to basically save up the money within their athletic department to pay for that. So,
Okay, anything else? Okay. Item is to approve the purchase of a new Daktronics Sports Sound 150 sound system for T.A. Duggar Gymnasium from Daktronics, quote 762840-1-0, in the amount of $18,309 to be purchased using T.A. Duggar Athletic Funds, State Contract TCPN R170101. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And there are none. Next item is a discussion item regarding the American Rescue Plan and ESSER funding. And turn that over to Mr. Van.
thank you. So you should have in some of your information a packet that looks like this. It says Elizabethton City Schools ARP ESSER spending plans at the top. And basically this is a synopsis of funding that we've already received and used. It includes all three ESSER funds that we received, different allocations, as well as some funds that we received from the state for various things. So just to look, if you look at a couple of those items there on page one, the first one, we received a continuous learning grant for $60,000. We used that as part of our purchase for teacher laptops and instructional technology coach equipment. So as you know, we have two instructional technology coaches, one paid for out of ESSER funding, and the other one's paid out of XQ funding at the high school. So, so this was a grant we received early on from the state to help us enact our continuous learning plan. And as you know, technology was a real issue for us as a district when it came to student devices. So that's one blessing in disguise throughout this process, is we've been able to purchase enough devices so we have enough devices for every student in the system. And some of the younger grades, we're not necessarily saying that they're going to take those devices home, but they'll at least have access to those. And then we're still determining what that lower grade level is where those students will take them home on a regular basis. So as you'll see down through here, there are lots of references to that technology. You know, we spent $500,000 just on teacher laptops and Chromebooks for students. So a tremendous amount of money that I don't know how we would have ever been in position to do that. So if there was a silver lining in this pandemic, that's one of them. The next item there is we received a $100,000 grant, a remote learning technology grant that we used to purchase some of our student Chromebooks. There was a connectivity grant of almost $38,000 to help us with the purchase of hotspots and the service for any individual we had, any students that we had that maybe didn't have high-speed internet access at home. The next item there is the ESSER 1.0 grant. Again, we continued the purchase of technology. We purchased an online learning platform. We did a pilot with Canvas, which will be moving to fully at the high school starting this school year. Again, more teacher laptops, student Chromebooks, some Chromebook storage carts, because once they come in at the end of the year, I mean, you can imagine 1,500 Chromebooks. Where are you going to put them? So these are carts where they can be stored as well as charged and powered up for the next school year. Again, additional hotspot funding was in there as well for that connectivity at home. We purchased some document cameras, and we also, if you'll remember, we purchased some outdoor Wi-Fi access points at every school. So if someone didn't have access at home and for some reason a hotspot wouldn't work, they could pull into certain areas of the campus, log into the network, have internet connectivity, and then they could upload and download assignments as needed. So we were able to purchase those, and those, again, are still in place. So we feel like, that, again, that will be an advantage to us in the future as we move forward. Curriculum, again, we purchased an online learning curriculum for this year to help bridge that gap for those students, especially not knowing what the year was going to hold, where would we have to be in a situation where we had to go completely remote, which, you know, thank goodness we did not have to do. But we purchased a program, a curriculum, just to have that to support teachers if the need arose. But that was also something that they could use and access for any students that were remote. You know, we could use that. Some teachers use that during the hybrid schedule days as well. We also purchased a benchmark testing program, which we have purchased for the next 3 years. You'll see that show up again down through here. We also, again, secured that instructional technology coach as well. Then if the next category is ESSER 2.0, that grant was for basically $2.5 million. We secured that online learning platform, Canvas, for the high school for the next 3 years. We also purchased interactive smart board. Well, they're called box light boards, and it will replace all the smart boards in the district. So it's brand new technology that will replace all of those devices throughout the school system. They're actually starting install next week. The hope is to have all of those in before that first full day, but there may be a few units short. I mean, you can imagine how many they're going to have to install, but we're really excited about the capabilities that's going to provide for teachers and students. Students can actually log in from their desk with their Chromebook and interact with the class. You can also log in and interact with students if you're remote. So there's all kinds of advantages to that. So we're excited about that technology, being able to, again, without this type money, there's no way we could do that. I think that purchase was right around $500,000. So it's really going to, you know, from where we were, again, technology before this pandemic hit to now, it's just leaps and bounds. And so that's why we have those 2 instructional technology coaches, is to help teachers. They don't have time to teach and dig into all this stuff. So those technology coaches are there to help them find ways to use that technology as effectively as possible. Also have listed some other curriculum items there that we utilize that 2.0 funding. We use 2.0 to secure that instructional technology coach for 2 more years, as well as a mental health counselor. We have an additional mental health counselor that's focusing on the elementary schools, and so the one that the school system has employed for the past several years will now be able to focus on the junior high and high school. And that added support, even though we didn't get that person in place until after Christmas, you can talk to the elementary principals and they'll tell you how valuable that person has been to the students as well as the staff at the elementary schools. Facilities-wise, with 2.0 money, we purchased some rooftop unit replacement units for west side and east side. We're also looking at window, ceiling, and lighting upgrades, as well as HVAC upgrades and asbestos removal at Harold McCormick. And so we're continuing, as I've mentioned before, that's again one of those capital items that we're continuing to gather information on. And we're looking again at a systematic way that we can go through that building without having to shut the building completely down, because there's no way to do all of that work within the span of a summer. So we're trying to find a way that we can have minimal impact in the school building, and maybe it's a situation where we do 2 rooms at a time and upgrade 2 rooms, move students back in, and then move to the next 2. So that's also a component that's earmarked from ESSER 2.0. And then we move on to ESSER 3.0. This is the largest grant funding that we've received, and it's basically $5.6 million. And I will tell you that 40% of that, so we're going to do the Tennessee All-Core with 20% of that. The other 20%, if you remember a month or 2 ago, Dr. Newman and I, we reached out to every principal and said, if money were no object, resources weren't an object, what would you need for your school to take it to the next level academically? And so each principal came in and they presented to Dr. Newman and I what they would need to make that happen. And from that other 20%, we're able to do virtually all those things. There's some computer programming, some materials that were requested that we've not found out how to handle that yet, or manage that, or pay for that yet. But we've always believed in this school system that people make the difference. Again, we had several things that you voted on tonight that dealt with people, and we feel the same way about this. So most of their requests dealt with personnel. So we have interventionists, an additional interventionist at each elementary school. We have a new counselor, an additional counselor at T.A. Duggar. We have the career advisor at the high school, one of those positions. We have a social worker for the district, which we're going to be in the process of hiring, interviewing next week, that we're really excited about. That's going to take, again, our ability to serve our students and their families. It's going to take it to a whole nother level to have that person with that background that's able to come in and support families. So all of those components were, we also had a class size reduction teacher at Elizabethton High School for ELA to reduce ELA class sizes. And then we also had a class size reduction teacher at T.A. Duggar for the math department, again, to lower those numbers down. So that's a big part of the ESSER 3.0. The remaining part is, we've listed some other options there depending on what happens down the road, but the remainder of that funding, we would be focusing on the construction and the addition of the 12 classroom addition at T.A. Duggar. I will tell you that with what we're hearing about construction costs and all these things, the reality is we're going to need some assistance with the next round of money that we've been told may be coming. And you may have heard some news about the infrastructure plan that Congress, that they're working through now. So we will need some of that additional funding to be able to do the project at T.A. Duggar, because there are certain constraints there. Again, construction materials, again, continue to rise. And you also have a situation where wages that you have to pay to construction workers, the fact that you're paying for it out of federal money also raises those wages, which will increase the cost, which is a great thing for workers, that sometimes it makes it difficult to complete a project. So we're really counting on that money coming through as well. So we hope to have some information on that in the near future, within the next, word is probably within the next month or so, they'll start voting on what that package would look like. The initial indication we've received is look at ESSER 2.0 and 80% of that. So when you look back at ESSER 2.0, it's $2.5 million, so it'd be roughly $2 million that we could potentially receive based on the information that we have now. Who knows what that will look like once it, comes out of Congress and the president signs that. But anyway, I went ahead and listed a couple of other things on here just so you would know. We have the different funding pots that we receive from the state for our summer learning camps. For the elementary program, it was roughly $150,000. For the junior high program, it's roughly $70,000. And then we had the STEAM mini camps for the elementary school, roughly another $70,000. So again, the bulk of those funds went toward paying our staff to work with students. And then we also received a summer camp transportation grant of about $45,000 that's helped us run our buses, provide for bus attendants, maintenance on the buses during the summer and things like that. So that is a synopsis, a summary of all of the funding that we've received and kind of our thoughts. Again, 1 and 2 are already in place. ESSER 3 is, again, that's part of what we want. We obviously want input from you. We want input from community members, stakeholders, students. All of those components we want included in this to help us make informed decisions. So that's a lot. I'm sorry I talked so long, but do you have questions about 1, 2, 3, anything at all as it pertains to some of those pots, some of those ideas?
With the infrastructure money we may get and what we have left in ESSER 3, will that be enough, we think, to do the TA Duggar addition?
That would put us somewhere, by my calculation, somewhere, if the infrastructure funding is what I told you there before, if it's roughly 8% of 2.0. With that and a little bit of 2.0, some of the HVAC money in 2.0, we would utilize to handle all the HVAC in the new addition. So that would put us somewhere close to $6 million by the time you combine all of that. So we also have some other avenues that if we need a little bit more, we have some excess half-cent sales tax funding that the city maintains for us that we could possibly use for this project as well. I mean, there are two main projects right now as far as school facilities themselves, and again, that's the two we've mentioned. It's TA Duggar and the Harold McCormick asbestos removal and remodel. So right now, what I would tell you is the bulk of the projects that we do need to kind of focus on those two areas, and so I'm hesitant to step into any other things until we have a pretty good idea about what TA Duggar is going to cost. And again, we're relying on some of that. You know, what does the infrastructure bill look like? Again, by the time you factor in the way construction is now, and we're not the only school system that's doing this. Obviously, there are many that are in the same boat that are using. You know, we don't get chunks of money, $5.6 million very often. That doesn't happen very often, and the fact that it can be used for some construction, you almost feel like you have to address some of those type things when you have the opportunity.
Has this application been submitted and approved?
No. So one other thing we did, I'm glad you mentioned that, Mr. Isaac. So another portion, when 3.0 came out, the state on multiple occasions said, we're encouraging you to hire staff to handle the management of these grant funds, because the reporting, the monitoring, all the requirements, the federal government, the oversight that they're going to make us do for this money, which is understandable. That's a lot of money. We have done that. We've hired someone that's an employee of the school system that's helping us put all these grants together and all the components of the plan. There's actually 4 separate components of the plan that we have to submit. There's a portion in E-Plan, which is any time we're doing any funding with the state, we go through E-Plan. That's the avenue that we submit that to the state for approval. There's also going to be a public-facing district plan that essentially, in a little greater detail, outlines everything that's in this packet. Anything at all, any other programs the state's offering that we're participating in, you know, what percentage of the money did you spend on technology? What did you spend on curriculum? What did you spend on educators? All those things. So there's a public-facing district plan that's also required. We have to keep track of stakeholders. How did we ask for input? What was the response? You know, how many responses did we have? There's a safe return to in-person instruction plan that we have to do. So there's lots of components, and that this one individual is kind of helping us manage. But now I will tell you that every supervisor at the central office is involved in putting all these together, because it's a mammoth task. No one person could do that. There's just no way. So we're very concerned and very aware of the reporting requirements that are going to be involved in this. So we're very excited about the person that's helping us do that work. But I feel good about where we are right now in the process. But my hope would be we would be in a position, the survey closes on the 5th. My hope would be that at our July meeting, we'll again offer an opportunity for anyone to come and share from the public if they have questions. this will be an open forum to do that. And our hope is to maybe have this submitted within the next week or two of that, once we have all of that input compiled. The deadline to submit has been moved several times. It most recently moved from August 1st to August 27th. But our goal is to have that submitted way before that.
Okay. Any other questions or suggestions? It's a nice problem to have, but it's not like it comes without cost of
Yep.
manpower and
It is.
all that. So,
But we're, again, not to beat a dead horse, but the technology advances, some of those things with some of our facilities, the programs that we've been able to purchase, the extra bodies, the extra staff that we've been able to hire to help us with some of these things it's really exciting. And I'm really looking forward to how it's going to impact our students, which is, again, that's the bottom line. How's it going to impact them?
Once in a lifetime chance too.
Mhm.
It
You'll never
is.
see this again.
It is. And that goes back to, again, not to belabor that point, we only have to spend 20% of 3.0 on learning loss and those type activities. So we could have not participated in T and All Core, hired those positions and just moved on. But we as a supervisory team really feel like that T and All Core, that opportunity to go in there, and all the other things that the principals brought to the table, they're all important. They're worth using some of that infrastructure money, TA Duggar money, to put those things in place, because that's going to impact students even more directly, quicker than that construction. But we're going to get there. We're going to get there on the construction. So we're going to get the best of both worlds. So.
anything else? All right. The last item is discussion regarding the Director of Schools evaluation. One of our obligations is to do a yearly evaluation of the director. And so it is time, probably a little past time, to do that. You have in front of you a paper copy of that. Basically, I sent a request to TSBA. They sent me a sample evaluation and said basically we could use that. However, there was a third part, but it was basically evaluating testing data. Obviously, with the year that we've had and everything, we thought postponing that for another year was probably the best thing to do. So there are two parts. One, the administrators will have an opportunity, this is your chance, to evaluate Mr. Van Huss. It's a one-page document. It's a 1 through 5 scoring system. You'll receive an email from Felicia tomorrow. We'd like to have that back by July 1st. You can do a hard copy, paper copy, and bring that to me or to Felicia, or you can do it digitally. It's a Word document, so all you have to do is put a tally in the column, and then we'll add up the scores. That will be 25% of the evaluation score. We hope next year to add a section also where supervisors can be involved in that. There was not one with this sample item. So the remainder of that is for the board members. Again, it'll be a Word document. You can do a hard copy, what you have right there. You can use that, or you can do it digitally. And you can email that back to me or to Felicia, or I'll come pick it up. You can bring it to me, whatever. But I would like to have all of that back by July 1st, because we'll have to tally everything and then also have it ready to put on the next board's agenda a week early to be able to report that. Is that correct? And this is the first time I've done that. Phil, you've done some evaluations. I think that's kind of the way that that works. So appreciate your input. There is a place at the end for comments, so please feel free to add whatever. I appreciate the year that he's led us through, but again, it's a tool for a person to be able to evaluate how they're doing in hopes that they can continue to improve, and also to find areas that are strengths that maybe they can build on. But again, I've spoken with him, and he looks forward to seeing what he can do to become the best director that he can be. So I appreciate that. So July 1st, if you can get that back to me, I would greatly appreciate it. Okay. The next board meeting is scheduled for Thursday, July 15th, 2021 at 5:30 here in the Mac Pierce Boardroom. And I have one other item I need a motion. I have a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion.
And a second? Second. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you.
I think there might be a couple things.